Very good morning, everyone. This is Rajendran here, joining from Market Calls, and welcome everyone to TradingView Pinescript version 5 Masterclass. So we are in the day one of the session here, and it's going to be a slightly a long journey. We're going to kickstart the session. We're going to discuss a lot more things about TradingView Pinescript, starting from the very basics. Let me tell you, this session is primarily designed for traders who are not a coders, but they want to design their own indicators. They want to design their own strategies, and they want to learn everything right from the scratch in a very proper manner. Right? So, right, TradingView keeps on upgrading their scripts. Right now, we are in version 5. So version 5 has a lot more vast features, which is what we're going to discuss right from the basics. So just give me a quick confirmation about the audio and video quality so that we can quickly kickstart with the session. All right. Thank you, Pankaj. How about others? How about Dinesh, Parth, Sachin, Manoj, Vaishnav? Are you guys able to hear it properly? All right. Thank you, Sachin. Thank you for the quick confirmation. I hope the audio and video quality is good enough. It's highly recommended to use Chrome and our Firefox browser. So these are the recommended browsers if you are using from the Webinars platform. All right. So first of all, let's try to understand the very important of TradingView. So what I'm going to do in today's session, right? I'm going to straight away kickstart with TradingView. Little bit about me. My name is Rajendran. I'm a full-time trader. I've been a coder as well. I had designed various trading systems in AMI Broker and TradingView. I've been using AMI Broker for more than a decade or so. However, Pinescript is quite new to me. I've been using Pinescript right from the day one when the TradingView when it started. So 2013 onwards, I've been consuming TradingView charts, and very aggressively from 2016-17 onwards. That is where the Pinescript also almost it started from there. And right during pandemic, almost every markets, NSE, cash, futures, everything they kickstarted. A lot of free data is available from TradingView. One can access the world markets across the devices. Now, I don't want to give too much introduction about TradingView. So we're gonna jump in directly into the Pinescript version 5 because that is what the ultimate agenda is all about. Maybe side by side, we'll also look into the TradingView features. It is not like we're not going to discuss any of the TradingView features, even if it is very new to you. We'll be slowly discussing we'll be discussing the TradingView features one by one. First of all, let's try to understand what is Pinescript. Now, how many of you are using TradingView? If you could give me a fair idea, it'll be helping. It helps me to serve better. Mohan Saha is having a question. Yes, Mohan, please go and ask your question. Mohan, you can go and ask your question. You can unmute yourself and you can speak back. I'm sure you guys might be at least using it for more than 6 months or maybe 1 year or 2 years.
Yeah, I'm. Hi, good morning, sir.
Yeah, morning, Mohan.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm using TradingView from last 6 months around,
Okay.
and it is quite good in means
So what is your
chart.
expectation from this session like?
I wanted to learn the coding on this Pinescript, and
So you're a coder?
I'm not a coder. That's why I want to learn.
So you're a trader, you are more of a trader who want to learn Pinescript.
Because I want to automate my strategies and create strategies. That's
Okay,
why.
cool. Okay.
And I have one strategy also. I will share with you that, and
Yep.
wanted to
First,
get
we'll
coded.
learn the basics, and then we'll slowly will take those strategies, and then we'll try to code those things. All right.
Yes, yes,
Today
yes.
we are at a very beginner level, so
Hmm.
you can mute yourself. I mean, whenever anybody is having question, they can raise their hands. I can unmute them, and they can speak back also. All right. So first of all, let's try to understand what is a Pinescript is all about. See, Pinescript is nothing but a simple trading views programming language only. You can use Pinescripts to create your own trading tools. When I say trading tools, that means you can create your own indicators, you can create your own strategies, and run them on TradingView server itself. Everything runs in the TradingView itself. Everything runs on the cloud, so that you don't need to have any additional resources. You can access the same indicator in your mobile devices, in your iPads or iPhones or Android devices, or even desktop PC, or any device you can, which is connected to the internet, you can go and access it. Pinescript itself designed in a lightweight manner, so that it will be very easy for develop your own indicators and strategies. Not only that, you can also backtest your own trading strategies. Now, first of all, let me open Pinescript. I'm going to go to TradingView. So let me pull up Reliance equity charts. I'm sure most of you guys might be trading in equities, and most of you guys might be trading in F&O as well. So how many of you trade in equities? How many of you trade in F&O? If you could give me an idea, so that will be helping me to understand. So Sachin is saying, like, Sachin is using for the last 2 months, he's using Algo. His objective is to learn all features of Pinescript. And Vasi Reddy is trading in F&O, and Sachin is trading in commodities. Manoj is trading in equities. Okay, so we have and Pankaj is trading in both F&O, equity, and he doesn't do any commodities. Bhanumati Rajendran is doing only in F&O only. Mohan Saha is doing in both. All right, so we have a wide variety of audience today. So I'm going to make it in a very generic format, so that we can, whatever we're going to talk, everything is going to be in a very, in a very common format. So first of all, let me open the charts, right? So from the charts here, first thing, if I want to apply the indicators, so I can go to the indicator section. If I click on indicators, you can find 5 different sections over here. One is favorites, where you can add your own favorite indicator, the one which is regularly that you've been using. This is your favorite indicators and scripts. Second one is my scripts. This is where I am going to write my own scripts. All my Pinescripts, whatever I am writing, will be stored under my account itself. So you have to log in, so that all your Pinescript will be stored under this path. And technicals contains built-in indicators. Now, even all these built-in indicators also built on top of Pinescript only, like all the simple RSI or EMA. So all these standard indicators, they also have standard indicators, standard strategies, volume profile, auto, right? So these are like automated trend lines, automated pattern detections, and all those kind of stuff. And candlestick patterns. We'll try to identify different types of patterns. So they had classified all these are built-in indicators and built-in strategies. Now, if you ask me what is the difference between indicators and strategies, indicators are more of a visual thing. You can visually see the indicator, but you cannot statistically backtest those information. Whereas strategies are also Pinescript indicator, which comes with execution features. Means if it is a strategy, we can use the strategy to transmit orders. We can send a market order, we can send a limit order, and we can backtest it. It's one of the highly comprehensive strategy module. A lot of comprehensive strategy modules are available in Pinescript. And then financials is more about the fundamental data points. You can go and get into the gross profit and all those information also. You can plot it and you can access via Pinescript also. And then finally, community scripts. Community scripts is one of the largest community scripts. Pinescript is having one of the largest community. Almost, I would say, like more than 1 lakh of Pinescript code is available inside Pinescript. Means almost anything and everything has been already coded by the users. And users continuously keep on coding. So you can find the top scripts over here. You can find trending scripts over here. You can go and see editor picks. So they have a lot of moderator. Moderator will be coming and getting those editor picks. So very frequently there'll be famous indicators. They'll try to bring those things. So these are some of them are top trending scripts. Means most people who like these indicators. So number of likes, based on likes, you can go and select. Not only that, even if you are looking for a certain indicator, let's say I want to look into super trend. So you can find wide variety of super trend under favorites or my scripts alone or under community scripts. And this is like so you can find a wide variety of scripts under technicals, community scripts. Lot more traders had coded those indicators, right? Or maybe if I'm looking for something like half trend. So these are some of the famous. These are some of the famous indicators, and people had derived a lot many things on top of half trend, or something like range filter. A lot of indicators, a lot of variations you can find in range filters, and most of the people they share the code. So if you see that this particular code range filter, it's a range filter buy and sell 5-minute. This is the most liked indicator, means it has more authenticity. So I can go and add that indicator. Not only that, I can go and see those indicators also. You can see that I can go back and look into the source code. If I click on the source code, I'll be able to get those indicators, right? So how we can get all those indicators? If I click on indicators, I'll be finding all those variants: favorites, my scripts, technicals, financials, community scripts. Now, let's try to understand when TradingView is plotting indicators. We need to understand how the execution happens. So maybe I'll try to pull a whiteboard over here. Just give me a sec, let it load. So today we are going to discuss only about the very basics of Pinescript. We're going to discuss about functions. We're going to discuss about the very basic things that you need to know about Pinescript version 5, because Pinescript version 5, they had briefly created an very vast information has been there at the very basic level itself. Those basics is what we're going to cover today. Followed by that, very slowly we'll be increasing the complexity so that the beginner level traders who are not coders, they can understand the coding very easily. Mohan Saha is saying, I did not understand financials under the search options. See, the financials that what we are getting over here, right? So they are mostly related to the fundamental data. So maybe I think most likely it is built for US markets, Apple, let's say Apple. And then if I go to indicators, if I go to financials, maybe I can go and click on the total revenue. So quarterly revenue or annual revenue, you can use those values to check how the fundamentals are performing historically. Right? Maybe you can use the quarterly time frame charts and you can see how the fundamentals are performing. So these data points are updated every quarterly basis. So and you can compare with the price action. And one thing here is like very often the scale might get fudged, right? So if you want to adjust the scale, if I want to reset the scale, you can click on auto. I'm sure you might be understanding all those things. Then you can very easily see those data points, how the price action went and how the financials went. I'm not sure how about Indian markets. Indian markets also, they support basic financials, something like, let's say I'll go with Reliance. Yeah, Reliance also, you can find the financials. So they support most of the financials, most of the very basic financials they do support over here. But they are not, they are mostly, you can access it via functions. In Pinescript, you can access via functions. All right, so if I want to create my very first code, what I have to do here is I have to go to Pinescript editor. So let me close all the scripts, okay? I'll remove all the indicators and scripts. I'll go to the daily time frame. Now I'll go to the Pinescript editor. I'll go to open. I'll go to indicator. So there are three things we can always create. One is indicator. As I said, indicator is primarily used for visual purpose. Second one is strategy. Third one is library. So library is kind of a generic module which we are going to reuse very frequently. Maybe in the later part, we'll discuss how to create libraries. In one of our session, I'll give you a brief idea how to create library, what is the purpose of the library. But our major focus is primarily going to be building indicators and building strategies only. So let me create the very first indicator. I'll go to the indicator. Okay, so here you can find version equal to 5 / at the rate version equal to 5. Now, what does that mean is this is a compiler directive. A compiler directive says which version of some of the old codes might be in version 3 format or version 4 format, even version 2 format. Most of the codes, whichever built in TradingView so far, are in 3 and 4 version only. I think version 5 itself, last 1 year, it's been, they migrated to version 5. Now, why they keep on increasing their versions? It's like every now and then, right? They come up with very vast ideas, new functionalities, more features, more functions, more inbuilt functions. Sometime back, calculating a super trend is slightly difficult. Now they made it very easier because now they give a ready-made function to us. Now we have Bollinger Band. Earlier, Bollinger Band is not there. We have to go and write the formulas. Earlier, if you want to build super trend, you have to build a complete super trend formulas. Now they had simplified those requirements. So a lot of simplification they are doing in every new versions. So I'm sure this is version 5, right? It might be there for at least next 2 or 3 years before upgrading to version 6. But compared to version 2, version 3 and version 4 had a very drastic difference. Compared to version 3 and 4, 5 has a massive difference. Okay, so maybe if you are using any code, version 3 or version 4 code, there is a cross compatibility they had given. So maybe I'll open the same range filter code itself. Okay, first of all, I'll go to indicators. I'll go to range filter code. So here is a range filter code. I click on this range filter code. So I am applying it to the charts. I can edit it in my Pinescript. I'll open the source code. Okay, if you see that this version belongs to the version 4. It comes with a lock symbol over here. That means the script is read-only. It's somebody else's script. If I want to make it mine, if I want to copy the script, I want to store it into my machine, my account. What I have to do here is I have to click over here and I have to make a script copy. So it will copy the script. And I can say like range filter buy and sell 5 minute. I can say like session 01 Pinescript. Or maybe I'll put session 01. I'll put in the front Masterclass. Session 01. That makes sense. I'll save this. So now this code becomes mine. It will be stored under my account, under my scripts. I can always go and open any scripts from here. Like if I click on open, I'll be able to go to my script. And from here, I can see all the scripts over here. Likewise, I can go and see the built-in scripts also. So they have two variants they had given, my scripts and built-in scripts. So you know that this is in version 4. Version 4, you can see like they are using in a different format, study, they're using input, right? So if I want to convert version 4 to version 5, they are giving a converter. Version 3 to version 4, we can convert, and likewise version 4 to version 5, we can convert. So that it will come to the upgraded version, newer programming language. So there is a triple dot over here. I can click on convert to version 5. If I click on that, any older versions will be upgraded. Now we can see that there is no study. Instead, I'm getting indicator. Instead, I'm getting what? I'm getting a indicator. Likewise, you can see that earlier it was only input. Now it becomes input.int. So the functions are changing over here. It's upgraded. So that way, any older functions that you are using, it's highly recommended to convert to version 5. Very easily you can convert it, right? So that all you have to do is like you click on that. If it is version 3, it will ask you to convert to version 4. Or if you're again clicking that, it will ask you to convert to version 5. Make sure that any code that you're going to use, it belongs to the compiler directive version 5. It'll be very easy for you to build advanced strategies. All right. So now first we will try to create our own very first indicator. Okay, so I'll go to my script. I'm going to go to indicator over here. Now under this indicator, you can see that it says indicator, means we're going to create an indicator. I'm going to give a name to that. First thing that you need to understand here is what is this blue color lines, or the blue color ones? The blue color ones are called as a built-in functions. Let's try to understand what is a function is all about. What do you think what is a function is all about? Maybe you might gone through some very basics. Anybody? What is a function? I'll tell you what is a function is all about. A function executes certain set of instructions. So here plot is a function that is going to plot the closing value. I can say something like data equal to ta.ema. So ema is a function. So where I have to give some parameters. You can see that source, comma, length. So these are called parameters. So I'm going to say close, comma, one parameter. Source is I'm giving as close. Length is the look back period. I'm giving like 20 as the look back period. So I'm storing inside a variable. So data is a variable over here. Variable is nothing but it is used to store a data. And I'm going to plot the data. I'm going to plot the data. So I'm going to say like, I'm just simply going to give a name like EMA plot. That's what I'm going to give. I am writing an indicator. I'm instructing Pinescript that whatever I'm going to write is an indicator. It's not a strategy, so it cannot be backtested. Just an indicator. I'm going to visually plot those levels. So here data is a variable and ta.ema, anything which is coming in blue color is a function. So here ta.ema is a function. Close is an input parameter that we are supplying to that function. Close and 20. So we can call this an argument. This is argument 1 and this is argument 2. Means first parameter and this is the second parameter. That's what we call as an argument. And what is the importance of this function? What the function will do? In this case, the function will do the EMA calculation. So it does execute some set of instruction. Here we are using this function to calculate the EMA values. And we are storing that value in the data variable. So a variable is generally used to store a data. So that data is what we are plotting. Now I'm gonna save the indicator. So I'm gonna save. If I click on save, I can say like EMA plot. I'm gonna say like Masterclass session 01 EMA plot. So that will be easy for me to retrieve and save those particular Pinescript code in our Febina's application itself. At the end of the session, I'll be saving all the Pinescript module. You can able to download that in a zip format. I'll be providing in a text file. You can save that text file and you can reuse it later on for the study purpose. So I'll save it. The moment I save it, automatically does a compiling. It will check is there any errors or not. You can see that every time I'm saving, it says like it compiles the data. It compiles the data. And if there is no error, then it says like done. So maybe you may not be able to see the letters properly. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to do a little bit of zoom over here. I'm sure this should be easy for you to view the letters. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Is this enough or you want one more points? I think this should be enough, right? This should be enough. See, why data is showed on white? That is a question from Mohan Saha. See, any editor, right? So any modern editors these days, what they will do is like they will try to distinguish which is the function. You see that some of them are in red color, some of them are in orange color. So orange color means it's a data point. Data is a variable. Text, this is a text content which we are putting in a double quotation. That is a string. Function is in blue. So they are differentiating. So that will be easy for you to understand that, okay, green means it's a text content. Close means it's an inbuilt variable. Data means it's a variable which is created by the user. I am the one who is creating the variable here. And 20 is a number. Plot is a function. So that a user can very clearly understand which is function, which is variable. It looks very elegant also for that purpose only. Almost all the modern browsers, they have this kind of feature, right? Not only that, there's something called IntelliSense. IntelliSense is like any function, it will be have to open the parenthesis and we have to close the parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis only, we have to pass the arguments. The moment I open the parenthesis, it automatically closes the parenthesis also automatically, and it automatically opens up the IntelliSense. IntelliSense will automatically tell you what information I have to fill in. So it is asking me to fill the source. A source is nothing but a closed variable or high variable, low or something like that. Some data point it is asking you to send. So I'm sending. I want to plot EMA on a closing basis. So EMA close comma length is what I'm going to give over here. 20. See, every time I am saving the symbol, right? Only first time the compilation will be done. If there is no change in the code, recompilation will not be done at all. So maybe if I'm saying like I'm adding one more line, I'm gonna say like var1 variable 1 equal to. If I'm gonna say like if I want to calculate MACD, so maybe I'll call it MACD. IMACD equals. There's a function called TA dot. You see that TA dot. What does that means? TA dot. So the TA represents library. I'm accessing the technical analysis library. Dot. Inside that library, a lot of functions are there. See that the moment I put a dot over here, it recommends a lot of functions. Accumulation distribution, ALMA, ATR. ATR means average to range. Bar sense function. BB means Bollinger Band. BBW. Now all these are functions. Inside a library, I can have functions, I can have variables. Okay, so we can say library as a class also. So in different programming, they use different terms. Generally in Python and all, in Python, Java and all, they'll be calling it as a class. Whereas when it comes to Tradingview, we're going to call it as a library. So TA dot what I want. Maybe I want to calculate MACD, so I'll put MACD over here. You see that MACD is a function. It itself says that MACD is a function. If I open the parenthesis, it is asking me to fill 4 values: source, fast length, slow length, signal length. So source is going to be close, okay? And then fast length, I have to fill in numbers. So it is, how do I know that it's number? You can see that it's saying like simple int. Simple int means it's an integer. So I have to fill in like in a number. Again, slow length also, it is going to be, it says like that is also a slow length parameter. It's a slow length is a simple integer. It tells what kind of data type it is. Again, I'm going to say like another slow length I'm going to give over here. Maybe I'll make it like 50. And then signal length. It is also an integer, signal length parameter. So I'll keep it like 9 or something. So maybe I'll say like 10, 16, 9. Okay, these are some default parameters. I am saving it. So I'm writing a new variable over here. IMACD is what? A variable. Here we are having a function. We are calculating the MACD. Whatever the value I calculated, I'm storing under the IMACD value. Now, a new line has been entered. If I save again it will try to compile. So again, the compiling is happening. If there is no error, it says there is no error. If I'm missing something, let's say if I'm missing one of the variable, one of the input value I forgot. Now, if I try to save, then it'll report an error. It will report a compilation error. Line, something I missed it out. So no value assigned to the signal length parameter. So it is clearly saying that one of the parameters, signal length parameter, I had missed it out. Very pinpointedly, it is saying. Sometimes it may not pinpointedly say. We have to understand where is the error. We have to go and check, and then we have to fix those errors. Right. So I'll save it over here. Okay. So now if I want to apply it, what I have to do, I have to click on add to the charts so that it'll apply to the indicator. So it's going to plot only the data only. Let me add it to the chart. It says like what I'm doing, it is clearly it's saying I'm adding to the chart. It gives the timestamp also. So I'll go back to the charts and so I see the EMA plot is added down below that. But I want to add it to my candlesticks. I want to add to this candlestick. Here is the candlestick, right? I want to add it to the candlestick. What I have to do? What I have to do, I'll tell you, we have to have overlay indicator. We call this an overlay indicator. Anything that I want to plot on top of the candlesticks, we call it as an overlay indicator, right? So I have to give an instruction accordingly. What I have to do, I'll tell you. I'll click on this so that it minimizes. In the indicator section, you can see that the EMA plot is not the only thing. There are a lot more things are there. It is asking me for a title, short title, overlay. So here you have to understand one thing. There is no format that I have to fill only first I have to fill the title. Second, I have to fill the short title. Then I have to fill the overlay. Then I have to fill the format. Now, some of them are not mandatory things. Some of them are optional things. When it comes to indicator, I don't need to fill all the parameters over here. A lot of parameters are here, right? In indicator, but we filled only the title only. First one is title, we filled it. But now I don't want to fill short title and all. I don't want to put the format, position. A lot of features are there, but I want to access only the overlay only. So if I want to directly jump to the overlay, what I have to say is like I have to say overlay equals. I have to say true. If I'm enabling the overlay format, means I want to plot whatever I'm plotting. I want to plot on top of the candlesticks. That's an overlay indicator. Otherwise, it will become an underlying indicator like MACD, RSI, and all. We will not plot on top of the charts, but we will plot down below the candlesticks. Something like EMA, Bollinger Band, all those things where we will plot. We will be plotting on top of the candlestick itself. So let me save the code over here, right? If I get back now, I'll also add it to the chart as well. I'll saved it already. I'll add it to the chart. Now you can see that it gets added to the chart as well. Right. So if I go here, there is a gearbox is there. So the gearbox contains settings. So what are settings here? Settings are like kind of a controls. Think about a TV, and you will have a remote control. You can from the remote control, what else you can do? You can increase the volume, you can decrease the volume, you can change the channel, you can increase the color, brightness, contrast. So everything you can control, right? Likewise, maybe I also want to create my own control. I want to control certain parameters. So hey, so here is an EMA here, right? I'm having an EMA. Now to this EMA, I want to control the value of 20. Maybe I want to decide what EMA it should be. The EMA value should be 20 or 30. Every time I don't want to change it in the value. I don't want to change like this EMA 50 and then I'll apply it. Again, I want to go and change it to 20. I want to create a control over here. So that is what we call as an input control. Okay. Now here data is a variable. So if I want to write some information, which is in plain English, I want to write, which is part of a comment, they are not part of the code. I will put a double slash and I'll say here data is a variable used to store the EMA values. Okay. Likewise, what I'm going to create is I'm going to create an input control. Input control. My first input control I'm going to create. So I'm going to say like I'm going to put a variable called PAR parameter. PAR means so for the or maybe I'll say like length. Length as a variable. Length equal to input dot int. I'm creating an control which is going to store the numbers. For that, I have to say input.int. It's a function. Input is the library. Int is the function. If I open that, it's asking me to fill the default value. I'm going to say default value is 10. So by let's say 20. By default, I'm filling the value as 20. Then comma title. I have to give a title. Look at that title is saying like title is const string. So the string represents text content. Any text content, if I have to write, I have to put a double quotation inside that. I have to say, this is more of an EMA length. EMA length. Then it is asking me to fill the min val, max val, and step. So minimum, I want to change the value from 1. My maximum value, I want to go up to EMA 200. So I'll put 200 over here. Even if you want to go 300 also, you can select 300. So these are selection values. You can adjust the value anywhere between 1 to 200. Like in your remote, there'll be a volume, right? You can adjust between 0 to 100. 0 means less volume, means if you increase the number, volume also increases. Likewise, you can also create a control over here. And I'm giving a value of step 1. If I give step 1, the value I can change from 1 to 2, 2 to 3. Likewise, I can increase in step of 1. If I give 5, then it will increase from 1 to 5, then 5 to 10, 10 to 15, like that, it will keep on increasing. So this length, now I just remove the number and I give the variable over here. Now this length by default stores what? 20. And that 20 will be applied and that will be plotted. Okay, so I'll save the code. Try to understand here. Now, if I go to the settings box, you can see one thing, the inputs contains EMA length as 20. You can see that I can increase by 1. That is the step 1. Step I had given 1, right? Since I'm given 1, I can increase or I can decrease those values by 1. Minimum, I can also enter the value. I can say like 100. I can go up to 200. The moment I try to enter 300, it will not allow me. Maybe if I try to put 300, it not allow me at all. So it's fallbacking only to that 30 value only. I can go and use a maximum of 200. And not only that, any plot that I'm writing, I can also able to control the style also. So we are having a plot. This is a EMA plot. that EMA plot, I'll be able to control the colors. I can change what are the colors I want. Automatically, those controls will be created without me being controlling. So from the style, any plot I'm having, I can control the colors. I can control the colors. I can adjust the opacity, means should I need a lighter colors or thicker colors? I can determine how lighter I want. So all those controls I'll be able to make from here. Not only that, you can also double click on the line and you can go and adjust the styles. You can go and select which line you want. Maybe you want to plot in a step line or something like that, a different format, or you want it in an area format, or maybe you want in a cross format, dotted format, so a circle format. So all those things, all those formats you can go and adjust over here. We can do this in from the coding itself, we can do, or we can also create controls. From the control also, we can do all those things. So how to enable IntelliSense? IntelliSense is enabled by default. That's a question from Sunil. Sunil, let me tell you, IntelliSense is by default enabled. You don't need to enable by any controls. Mohan Saha is asking, can you explain different function shown under the indicator, semicolon, like precision, scale? So maybe before to that, there are a lot of basic things we have to discuss. We'll go and discuss one by one. All right. There is one interesting question from Sachin Wadwa. He's asking, what if I don't tell the version? See, if you don't tell the version, then you are saying like I'm using the version 2. It will automatically fall back to version 2. Right? So version 2 is the very, very basic function where modern functions are not at all available. Modern functions like super trend, Bollinger Band, those kind of functions are not at all available. You have to develop everything right from the scratch. So don't do that. Maybe only if you want to use version 2, then only it's highly recommended to go and use it. But generally, it is good to use with the latest version itself. In the future classes, will we cover JSON script? Yes, of course, we'll be covering. When we are talking about automation, we'll be talking about JSON scripts, right? So as of now, we're not going to discuss all those things because a lot of basic things we are going to cover. As I said, today's session is going to be primarily into the basic understanding of TradingView, how the TradingView itself works, and how the things are done, and very basic things like operators and variables, different type of data, how to understand the data. At a very beginner level is what, as I said, I'm trying to focus, right? So allow some time. Very quickly, we will jumping into directly into building indicators and strategies. End of the day, you should not feel like, oh, it is so complex. So I'm just trying to simplify as much as possible. All right. So please allow some time to understand the very basics. As I said, version 5 is very vast. So you need to understand a lot more things. Then only it will be very easy for you to explore Pinescript in a very easier manner. Just give me a sec. I'll try to pull up the whiteboard. Somehow the whiteboard is not opening. Yeah, it does. All right. So let's try to understand how the execution of script is done. Execution of scripts. Pinescript. When the calculation will be done and how the calculation will be done. So this is what we're going to learn here. See, the calculation of if I'm writing any particular programming language, like I'm asking to calculate an SMA or EMA or some super trend, right? The calculation will happen, but when the calculation will happen is what it is important. In Pinescript, we had classified into two categories. Any bar we can calculate differentiated into historical bars, and another one is we can differentiate into real-time bars. Okay. So the historical bars are the moment I am adding it to the charts, it will be automatically calculated. And real-time bars also, the calculation will not happen just like that. For every bar, every time whenever the real-time value is updating, it will not calculate. It will calculate only on the close of the candle only. All right. So the calculation for the historical bars, how it happens? Let it be historical bars. Let it be real-time bars. Maybe I'll try to show you to get a better feel. So right now, I think Bitcoin markets are live, I think, right? BTC USD. So BTC USD, I'll go and get it. I click on that. So the data might be updating. So I'll go with like some 1 second data. So every 1 second, the data will be keep on updating. Let me go and bring in simple indicator. So maybe the indicator that, maybe a simple RSI indicator will try to bring. I'm also going to plot those RSI indicators as well. So let me build a simple RSI. So I'll copy the same thing. Okay, I'll open, create an indicator. Just put it over here. Instead of that, let it be same. I'm gonna say like RS equal to TA dot RSI. So I have to fulfill two things. One is source. Source I'm gonna say like close, comma length. I'm gonna give like a default value 14. Okay, this RS value is what I'm gonna plot. RS. Maybe comma. I'll say like a title. I'm gonna give a title. Title I'll say like a RSI value. And the color I have to give a color. Color is like I have to type color dot. The moment I type color dot, I'll be able to see all those different color format. I'm gonna say like color red and line width. How thicker you want? So I'm gonna say like line width equal to. So since I'm filling it very promptly, I don't need to say line width equal to. I can say directly 2, right? 2 means slightly thicker. 3 means even more thicker. And then style. So style equal to, it also suggests a lot of style, style line, style step line. So maybe I want to plot it in a style format itself. So I'll say like plot dot. Plot is a library. Dot, a lot of variables are there. See that they're not functions, they are variables. Inside a library, we can have a function also. We can have a variable also. So here we are going to fill a variable. These are inbuilt variables. We'll study it in our upcoming session. So plot dot style underscore line. So automatically it makes my coding learning very easier. I don't need to struggle with coding. I don't need to remember those coding, right? So that is what the beauty of the intelligence is all about. You don't need to remember everything. Maybe once you keep on practicing, you will be able to remember very easily. But even a beginner with an intelligence, they can build easily a simple level of code. They can achieve it. That is how the intelligence helps. So let me save the code. So the purpose is to show you how the real-time bars are getting calculated in TradingView. Masterclass session 01 RSI plot. Okay. So let me add it to the charts. I'll add to the charts. Okay, somehow it has been adding it to the. It's getting added to what? It's getting added to the overlay. I don't need an overlay because it's an RSI. I'll remove this. Or I can say overlay equal to false also. By default, if I'm not specifying, the value of overlay will be false only. Or if you want, you can just simply specify the value also here. You can false. Okay, I'll save the code. And now I'll add it to the chart. So it should get added to the underlying indicator. Now we can see the value of the indicator. It will not fluctuate at all. So maybe instead of 1 second, right, I'll go to something like 15 seconds or maybe 1 minute chart. Maybe let's see. The value is like, you can see that new data is coming in. So the indicator value also updating. So every time a real-time bar is happening, it is updating, right? So by default, they'll execute only when the real-time bar is, every time there is a new update is there, the value will be keep on updating. You can clearly see that it keeps on fluctuating, right? So real-time bars are calculated. Right now, only real-time bars are calculated. Historical bars are not calculated at all. Historical bars are already calculated. Let me tell you when the calculation will happen. So the calculation itself happen when I am loading the, let's say if I'm loading a different thing, let's say ETH, USD, Ethereum I'm trying to load, then a new calculation will be happened. Immediately, first it will do the calculation for the historical bars, and then every tick, you can see that it will start updating the real-time bars. Or if I'm saving the script also, if I'm saving the script, or if I'm going and changing the parameter, let's say even if I'm changing the parameter from 20 to 50, again, a fresh calculation will be made. A new calculation will be made. If I'm modifying the input settings, or if I'm modifying the properties or anything that I'm doing a change, or even if I'm refreshing my browser, or even if I am minimizing the chart or maximizing the chart, it will try to do the new historical bars are coming in. So it will try to add more historical calculations in the past. So that is how the calculations are done over here. All right. Look at the value, current value 69.55. So the values are also changing for the current bars. So it is updating in real time. Now what we can do is there is one more variable called calculate on every tick. Calculate underscore on underscore every underscore tick equals. Is there? So if I go to indicator, right? I think probably in indicator it's not there. Maybe in strategy it is there. So this is indicator. Maybe I'll do one thing. I'll also convert this into a strategy. Okay. Because in indicator, right? We see the difference in real-time bars, it updates, but it is different if I'm going to create a strategy. So I'll open it's the same code only, but I'm going to put it in a strategy format. I'm going to put it in a strategy format. I'll create a strategy. Okay, I'll remove all these things. I'm just going to paste whatever the code, a simple RSI calculation only. Overlay equal to false is what I'm going to give, false. Rest everything I'm going to ignore. False. I'm going to save this. Okay, I'm going to say like Masterclass session 01 strategy RSI plot. Earlier we done in an indicator format. Now we are doing the same code in a strategy format. There is a subtle differences over here. That is why I'm doing this. You might wondering why I'm doing all these things. There is a reason for that. So I'm saving the code. Now I'll close this. This is an indicator, right? So let the indicator be, let it be like that. I'll add the chart over here. Okay, I'm adding one more indicator. Notice that here also I'll make it like 50 as a parameter. Both are 50 as a parameter. Top one is an indicator. This is more of a strategy. You can find a difference over here. What's the difference you are finding? Can anybody say that what's the difference that you're finding between indicators? The top one is an indicator. So maybe I'll draw and show you. So this section is indicator, and this section is more of a strategy. What is the difference that you can find? There is a difference here. Same code, but there is a difference. Yes, there is a question from Sunil and Pankaj. Yes, Sunil and Pankaj, please go and ask your question.
So my question was more regards to the latency issue, which we can take up later as well. So when we are spending time on ME Broker or on TradingView, I wanted to know which one is faster so that your trade gets executed uh, with less delay or with no latency.
See, in TradingView, right, the latency will be definitely 1 second because every data is getting updated only 1 second only. In ME Broker also, data latency is going to be 1 second only. Data is going to come in every 1 second only. But there is a way we can refresh the data, and we can, the moment we are getting the data, we can execute it within 0.1 second. So there is a way, there is a special way we can implement, and then we can reduce the latency. It means ME Broker is the latency is better.
Okay, so just a follow-on question.
Data latency, when it comes to Indian market, every 1 second, one data only will happen. That's what we call as a tick level data.
Okay, okay. Sir, a follow-on question is because I had actually looked at one of your super trend strategies and created a Algo Mojo bridge and executed few trades. Okay.
Maybe let's take the automation based question later on because we've been talking.
Sure.
Maybe at the end of the session, we can take those things. Any basic questions, like whatever you asked right now, you can ask. So otherwise, it will disturb the flow.
Yes. Sorry, sir. Sorry. I don't want to disturb the flow. Please continue.
So now my question here is very simple. What is the difference that you are finding over here? I'm seeing a massive difference.
The last candle.
Yes.
The data value, the indicator value is not calculated. In the indicator, it is calculated. So it's a non-repainting thing which is taken care of.
Yes.
In strategy.
In the strategy, by default, it will not calculate for the recent bar. You see that the RSI value is not at all plotted for the recent bar, whereas in indicator, it is plotted. This is a difference that you need to understand here. It's a very important difference because many people complain that in strategy, the last bar is not calculated at all. Right? But you can make it calculate. There is a parameter. If I set those parameters, we can make it calculate. So when it comes to real-time bar also, the real-time bar also calculated on a closing basis in strategy by default. Okay. But if I want to enable in strategy also, I want to get the recent value, which is not recommended unless the strategy demands. Okay. So what you need to do here is, yes, some strategy, you may have to have a real-time value also, some strategies, but not in every case. So in that case, what I have to do here is I have to add one more parameter called CALC on every tick. By default, the value is false. If I make it as true, then the calculation will happen. In strategy also, the calculation will happen for each and every bar. I mean, each and every real-time tick, the calculation will happen. Now let's see here. You can see that it is now calculating for the current bar also. Are you able to see that?
In effect, this is a non-repainting issue because based on this, the trades can be taken or can be avoided or whatever is the strategy.
That's what I said. Like a certain strategy demands calculation on real-time basis, but certain strategies we have to calculate only on the closing basis. Maybe we will, when we are creating strategies, we will briefly look into those things. All right.
Okay.
But right now, what I want you to understand here is indicator plot is different. Strategy plot is going to be different unless I make it as calculate on every tick equal to true. By default, if you don't know, you should not enable it because it might lead to some continuous order, sending of orders. But if you know what you're doing, there are certain strategies. We got as a touch level strategies, touch-based strategies. Many strategies will execute on close of the candle only because EMA value will keep on fluctuating, RSI value will keep on fluctuating, MACD value will keep on fluctuating. So if the values are fluctuating, maybe signals will appear, disappear. Those kind of repainting issues will happen. For that purpose only, very intelligently, they had disabled the value so that only when the candle closes, a new calculation will be done. New Pinescript calculation will be done. All right. Otherwise, those calculations will not be done at all. This is a protection. This is a very safer protection for the beginners. If you are advanced coder and you know what you are doing, then only you should enable calculate on every tick equal to true. As I said, if your strategy is like kind of a breakout strategies, level-based breakout, then definitely calculate on every tick is true is required. So if you are trading a level-based breakout, a certain level is breaking out, then immediately you want to enter. You don't want to enter at the close of the candle, but you want to enter the level. Maybe let's say I'm running in 5-minute charts. A 5-minute chart will be keep on fluctuating for next 5 minutes, right? So maybe your signal might happen in the second minute itself. One of the level that you are monitoring might be breaking in the second minute. At the second minute itself, you want to enter. Now, those kind of places, you may have to enable this calculate on underscore every underscore tick. Otherwise, what will happen? The execution always happen only when the candle closes. Imagine if I'm using a hourly chart, it will take 1 hour to create a signal. I have to wait for one more entire 1 hour. The indicator to form, let the indicator forms, candle closes, then only my signal will be calculated, whether it's a buy signal or a sell signal. Right? Those are end of the candle strategies. So strategies itself we will be determining into 2 categories. When it comes to strategies, one is end of the candle strategies, which will always wait for the candle to complete. Most of the beginner level strategies are end of the candle strategies, right? The second type of strategies are level-based breakout strategies. Level-based breakout means I might have a level. When that level is touching or when that level is crossing, it doesn't matter. I don't need to wait for the candle to complete. But when the level is crossing, even if it is a hourly candle, if the price is crossing that level within 10 minutes, I have to be in the trade. Otherwise, I might miss an opportunity. Now, those kind of places, real-time candle is very important for me. For that case, I have to enable the calculate on underscore every underscore tick equal to true. I have to enable it. Okay. Unless if you are not sure which kind of strategy that you are using, mostly you are going to use end of the candle strategies only, because most of the end of the candle strategies are very simple to code, but most of the level-based breakout strategies are slightly complex one, like the target, stop loss, touch of the target, touch of the stop loss. Maybe if those kind of things are you are playing with that, maybe if it is required, you may have to use those things. As I said, only if you required, only you have to use it. Anyways, we'll discuss all those things in the upcoming session. So any other questions that you need me to address before moving on? I think we may take an intermediate. We'll be taking a small 10 minutes break. We'll be having. So Bhanumati, Rajendran, you're having any question? Or Pankaj?
No questions, sir.
Then I'm muting everybody. Sunil, you're having any questions?
No questions, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's dig some of the very basics over here. Now, first thing that we are going to understand here is the identifiers. Identifiers are nothing but variables. So, identifiers, a lot of identifiers are there. An identifier must begin with an uppercase or a lowercase. So, they are nothing but variables only. I can use underscores also. You can also use digits, but the digit should not be beginning at the immediately. It should not be beginning. Maybe like VAR 9, VAR 10, like that. I can use the digits in between. Remember, in TradingView, the identifiers, the variables. Identifier means nothing but variables. The variables which you use to store the data. They are case sensitive. Means if I am having 2 different variables, let's say I'm having a variable data equal to ta.ema of close comma 20 and data equal to ta.sma of close comma 20. Both are different variables here. Why? Because here the data is in small and here it is in capital format. So both will be treated as 2 different variables. Whereas if you look into AMI broker and all, it is not sensitive, case sensitive at all. Variables are. So different platforms have a different requirement. Here it is more case sensitive, so use it accordingly. When you are using data and you want to plot, you have to plot the data only. Which one you are plotting, accordingly those values will be plotted. Remember that. Now, when it comes to operators in TradingView is very complex. A lot of operators are there. The basic operators are like arithmetic operators, comparison operators. So let me tell you, first of all, we'll take the arithmetic operators. It is very simple. Addition, subtraction. For multiplication, we're going to use a star, and division a slash. And modulo. Modulo, you know what the modulo will do? Modulo will get you the remainder. So maybe I'll say like, if I'm doing a calculation over here, something like, I'll say data equal to 10 modulo 4. So this will give me a value of 2 what? Remainder. The remainder is going to be 2. So 2 is the value I'll be getting over here. Why we use modulo? Whenever certain mathematical operations, sometimes it demands getting a remainder value. So we will be getting those modulo operators, right? For example, certain times I want to calculate OTM options. For calculating at the money options or in the money options, I may have to use the modulo operator. So the calculation itself demands I want to get the remainder. Based on the remainder, my calculations will be there to calculate at the money strikes. So maybe we later on we look into all those things. Okay, so certain places the modulo operators are demanded. Likewise, these are the very basic operators. All the arithmetic operators, addition, subtraction, division, and the modulo are supported. And then comparison operators. The comparison operator plays a major role in strategies. Not only strategies, or even building indicators also. Whenever I'm having a comparison operator, less than, greater than. So look at that, equal to and not equal to. So there is a subtle difference between there. Sometimes people get confused, particularly beginners. If I say the comparison, the moment comparison means I'm comparing two different variables or two different informations. I can say, let's think about an example here. I can say VAR1 equal to 20, VAR2 equal to 40, and VAR3 equal to again 20 again. So here what I'm doing is, here this equals will assign the value, means this will use to store the value. But if I say VAR1 equals VAR3, here what I'm doing? Assignment, assigning the value. Whereas here what I'm trying to do here, I am trying to compare. What is the difference? This will store the value, whereas this one will equate. It will check whether it is equal or not. If it is true, then it will return true. If it is false, it will return false. So that's what we call as a Boolean. A Boolean means what? A Boolean is a data type. Boolean is a data type. It is either true or it is false. Whenever I'm trying to compare, it will try to check if this condition, it's a condition. The moment it becomes a condition, the output is going to be either true or it is going to be false. All right. So that is the difference over here. Here it will store the value, whereas here it will compare the value. Please remember this, because many a times people do the mistake. So when they want to check, they will say like var1 equal to var3. Here I'm assigning the value var3. Whatever the var3 value, I'm assigning it to var1. So I'm storing the value of variable 3 in the variable 1. This is not comparison. This is comparison. Likewise, if I want to check if the value is not equal to, so then var1, if it is not equal to var2, likewise, I have to do. So I'm just putting an exclamatory mark followed by equal to. That becomes not equal to. So maybe you have to understand how to use those things. So there are only less than, greater than, or equal to. All these output will be returning either true value or false value. And then logical operators. Again, logical operators also, the output is going to be either true or false. So here the logical operator is maybe with the comparison operator, I'll write a very simple example. Simple code will try to write it. Like whether the value is increasing or decreasing. That is what we're going to do. Okay. So we'll write a very simple comparison operator. Simple comparison As I said, this session is going to be a very basic session. So please stick with me for some time because a lot more important things you might miss if you're going to miss this session. RSI smoothing. Okay, so RSI smoothing is what I'm going to do here. Maybe I can give a short title also. I'm going to say like maybe RSI, smooth RSI. Smooth RSI. Overlay is going to be false only, so I'm going to leave it as it is. I don't want to plot the close. Rather, I'm going to calculate the. If I want to put only RSI, what will happen? If let's say I'll say like RS equal to TA dot RSI. Force is going to be close and length is going to be 14. Maybe I'll say like I'll put one more variable called length. The length is what I'm going to code first. So that's going to be input parameter. Input length. Length equal to what I have to use input.int, right? Input.int. I'll open the parenthesis. Default value is 14. Title is going to be RSI length. And the minimum value is going to be 1. Maximum value is going to be 100. And step interval is going to be 1. That length is what I'm exactly using it. Remember that it is case sensitive. So you cannot put the capital L over here. This will, if I try to save it automatically, it will try to compile and then it will try to throw me an error. Immediately it'll throw me an error. So please don't do that. Okay. So I have to go and fix that error. Length. Now what I am going to do here is if RSI is greater than 50, then I want to plot in a different color. And if the RSI is less than 50, then I want to put in a different color. So I have to compare the RSI value. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to compare. So I'm going to say color equal to, RSI color equal to, I'm putting in variable called RSI color. I'm going to store the color also. Color equal to, I'm going to write the condition. The condition goes like this: RS if it is greater than 50. If it is true, we put that this is called ternary operator. If it is true, then I would say like color dot green. Else, okay, color dot red. And then I'm gonna plot the RSI. So I'm gonna plot the RSI value. RS is the variable which stores the RSI value, comma, title, I'll say like RSI value, comma, color is gonna be RSI color. So here I'm just trying to bring a dynamic color. If the RSI value is greater than 50, then I want to plot in color green, else I want to plot in color red over here. So this is going to be a dynamic color. Okay, so let me save the code here. I already saved it. There are no errors. And I'm going to apply it to the charts. Let's see. So now we can see the RSI values are different. The colors are getting coded accordingly. Oops. I added to the chart again. Whenever the RSI is crossing above 50, the value changes to green. And whenever it's falling down below that, the color is turning red. So are you able to understand this code? So here what we are using a comparison operator. The comparison is returning what? True and false. If it is true, then what I have to do? If it is false, what I have to do? So wherever it is getting true, it is plotting for that particular candle, RSI value, if it is greater than 50, then means it is plotting in green color. If the RSI value is less than 50, then it is plotting in red color, right? So there is one very interesting question. Where does the title and short title appears? This RSI smoothing and smooth RSI. So this RSI smoothing, the title here, right? If I go over here, the smooth RSI, which is nothing but what? The short title. Short title appears in the indicator. But where the title appears, if I go to the indicator, let's say I should save this code, right? Let me save this code as Masterclass session 01 RSI smoothing. So we haven't done any smoothing at all. I'm going to do the smoothing. Okay. So I'm going to say like smooth RSI. Smooth RSI is nothing but I'm going to take an ta.ema of the source is I'm going to use the RSI value itself. Means on top of the RSI, I'm going to take the EMA value. It's nothing but the EMA of RSI. So what we are trying to calculate is EMA of RSI. I'm going to smooth with value 20. So this is going to be smooth RSI. Or I can bring one more control. So I'm going to say like EMA length equal to I'll say like 20. It's going to be EMA length for smoothing factor. And this EMA length is what I'm going to put it over here. Okay. Now I'll save the code here. And I'm going to plot the smooth RSI only. Smooth RSI. I want to save the value. Now the values would have been smoothened up. So what I am getting is the EMA of RSI. So smooth RSI is nothing but what? EMA of RSI value. The value gets smoothened up. Means I will not be having a very sharp lines. The value will be smoothened. It's a smooth data. It's more of a smooth RSI value. We can further smoothen up. A lot of things are there. Hull of moving average, linear regression. Maybe those functions we'll study later on. Right. So the whole idea is to do what? How to use the comparison operator. Where the comparison operator is used. Many places where the moment it is coming into strategies, we are going to play with comparisons only. Right. Okay. So this is with comparisons. Now, Mohan Saha is asking what is mean by smoothing of any indicator. Let me show you. Here I had smoothened with the value of 20. You can see that the lines, if I smooth with, maybe I'll use 50, the lines will get even more smoother. It will be very, it's not very clunky. You can see that it will continuously keep on falling. And maybe it will keep on rising. Again, it will keep on falling and it will be rising for some time. Whereas if I decrease the smoothing period, I'll be getting rough lines. So means I'll say like smoothing period is 1, it's as good as an RSI. So this is the RSI value. You can see that up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down kind of things I'll be getting over here. The data point is very much cluttered, like up, down, a lot of up, down values. It's very jittery. So if I want to smoothen the data, what I'll do, I'll increase the length. I'll change like, I'll put like something like 10. So now you can see that compared to 1, if I bring 10 over here, the data will smoothen up. The data, it's the same data only, but a lot of clunkiness would have been removed and it's smooth for some places. Some places it is clunky still. So you can see some places it is clunky, but still it is smooth at most of the places. Again, it is clunky some places. But if I more the smoothing I'm gonna do, I'm creating more delay. At the same time, my signals will be smoothen up. Let's say if I'm gonna put like something like 100, then what will happen? It will be the ultra smooth one. It will continuously keep on increasing, not little bit of decline, but mostly it is increasing, declining. So it will be very easy to determine the signals pretty much fast. Some places smoothing will bring efficiency in your trading system. That's what I'm called as a smoothing. Smoothing means that the data itself will get smoothened up by looking into bigger look back periods. Okay, so where the title value appears, it's very simple. If I go to the indicator, let's say, if I go to indicators over here, go to my scripts. If I see that I'll simply type Masterclass. So since I'm using smooth RSI here, it's taking a smooth RSI. Maybe if I remove the smooth RSI, I'll save it up. What I'll be getting here is like, I'll try to add the indicator, add to the chart. I'll be getting that title over here. So if I overwrite with short title, automatically the short title will be displayed over here automatically. All right. Sometimes whatever you're writing in the title, the moment you click on save, that value will be coming. The title value will be automatically appearing in the file name itself. All right, we'll do one thing. We'll take a small break, a 10 minutes break, and then we'll take questions and then we'll move forward because a lot more basic things are yet to discuss. So I think today, complete day will be spending only in understanding the basics only. Then only it will be very easy and flexible to go on to create complex indicators and strategies. Let me pause here. I'm going to run a timer here. The timer will be running for next 10 minutes. Time.is. So the time is now 11:27. Maybe we can take another 10 minutes of break. So we'll be resuming by 11:38, right? So, and then we'll take questions and then we'll continue with the session. All right, I'm back here. Now talking about the length, how many historical bars I will get. So that depends upon your subscription plan. Maybe if you are talking about the historical bars, you will get, if you are a free user under free plan, then you can get up to 5,000 bars, right? Or maybe if you are a pro user or pro plus user, then you may end up getting, I think, roughly maximum of 10,000 bars. Even if it's a hourly chart also, you'll get up to 10,000 hourly bars. Daily chart means it's the maximum up to 10,000 daily bars. 1 minute chart means maximum 10,000 1 minute bars, like that. And if you are in a premium, the highest plan is the premium plan. So if you are under the premium plan, then you may go up to 20,000 bars. So maybe it will be useful for if you want to backtest more data, then a higher plan is what I highly recommended. Right? Free has a limitation. There's a strong limitation to that. That is why people generally go towards pro or pro plus or premium plans. All right, now coming back to that. So we talked about logical operators. Logical operators are primarily used in building strategies. Right? Let's say I want to build a strategy where MACD should be greater than 0, and I want to buy when MACD is greater than 0, and at the same time, my RSA value should be greater than 50. So what I can do here is I can write a condition like this. I can write a condition saying like buy equal to, buy is a variable. I'm just putting a variable, simple variable here, not a standard variable, just a common variable only. Buy equal to TA.MACD and so on, so parameters. I have to give all those parameters, close, comma, 10, comma, 5, comma, 7. All those parameters I have to enclose. Here I'm saying like it should be greater than 0. This is one condition. So this is one condition. And I'm having like a TA.RSI. Maybe I'll directly write it in the Tradingview itself. Okay. So probably I'll go to Tradingview. I'll open the Pinescript editor. I'll go and bring a new indicator. So the operator that we've been talking about here is logical operator, right? Logical operator example. So I'm going to say buy is nothing but buy equal to TA.MACD. I'll say like close. Fast value is going to be 16 and slow value is going to be 10 and signal length is going to be 9. If this should be, MACD value should be greater than 0. And at the same time, see that I'm having multiple conditions. So MACD should be greater than 0 and RSI value should be close comma 14 should be greater than 50. If I am having multiple conditions, then I have to use either AND or NOT operator. So the AND operator will become true. So this is a condition, right? Multiple conditions I'm having. I can keep on have as many AND as much as possible. If this condition is true and the other condition is also true, when both the conditions are true, then only the final output will be true. Condition 1 also should be true. Condition 2 also should be true. Then only the buy will become true. Right? If one of the condition is false and other is true, or both are false, the output is going to be false only. So there is a AND map is there. It goes like this. Let's say condition 1 and condition 2. If it is like this, both are true. Condition 1 should be true. And condition 2 should be true. Then only the output is going to be true. If any one is turning into false, either condition 1 is false or condition 2 is false or both are false, output will become false over here. Whereas in case of OR operator is going to be a little bit different. In case of condition 1 or condition 2. Here, any one of the condition, if it is true, that is more than enough. For example, if condition 1 is true, or maybe condition 2 is false, or condition 1 is false, or condition 2 is true, the output is going to be what? Output is going to be true over here. At least one should be true. Okay. Then comes the NOT operator. That's a very interesting one. Let's say NOT of condition 1. If I'm going to say like that, then if the condition 1 is true, then the output is going to be false. Output becomes false because NOT will switch from true to false. If it is true, it will make it false. If it is false, it will make it true. The output will become false over here. Whereas if condition is false, condition 1 is false, then the output will become true over here. Will become true. Very interesting condition. We don't use it very frequently, but there are certain places on demand, if it is required, we may have to go and use those things. So that is with logical operator and OR and NOT. Primarily we'll be using in strategies for building when to send orders. When an event is getting triggered, let's say when a crossover is getting triggered, at the same time RSI value also should be greater than 50. So you may have multiple conditions at times. Whenever there is a multiple conditions, these AND, OR and NOT operator will be always used. Ternary operator, we already seen the ternary operator example already, right? So ternary operator is used to create expressions. Expressions are nothing but conditions. So here I'm writing a condition, I'm putting a comma. So means if this condition is true, then what I should do? And then I'll put a colon, I'll say if it is false, then what I should do. This is how the ternary operator works. Right? Very interesting operator. Because of that, the true false conditions, we can build dynamic things, dynamic color coding, all those things we can build over here. It's heavily used in Tradingview. If you are using Tradingview in any code, definitely you might be seeing this. You open any public view, public community script, definitely you'll be seeing this ternary operator because it's heavily used in Tradingview. So if it is true, then this set of value will be returned. If it is false, the next set of value will be returned. That's how it is. And then there's something called history reference operator. This is also one of the most important operator. Now this is where before studying this history reference operator, right, I need to explain what is a time series is all about. Time series is something which you need to know about here. And if in case you are very new to Tradingview, I'm going to open an Excel. Because Excel is the best way to explain what is a time series is all about. See, think about the example. There are many places we had used a variable called close. It's an inbuilt variable, right? Close. When I say close, what I mean here is, I mean the entire close of each and every bar in that particular time frame. Let's take a simple example. Let's take a case study like Reliance. Let's take the Reliance data. Reliance. Let's say Reliance is having only 10 bars. The entire chart itself having only 10 bars. Just assume that. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So these are like number of bars. I'll keep it something like up to 10 to keep it simple. So let's say Reliance is right now trading at 2,500 levels, 2,500, 2,501, 2,503, and then 2,500 again. It's falling down, 2,499, and let's say 2,502, then 2,506, 2,508, and then 2,507, 2,506. So these are nothing but what? If I try to plot the data, I will get a historical time series data, right? So maybe I'll try to insert a chart, maybe something like a line chart. So I'll be getting this line, right? So this is how you'll also get a line over here. If you try to plot those information, you will get a line. This is a series, time series data. For each and every bar, data is getting plotted over here. Each and every bar data is getting plotted. All right. I'll keep this aside. So if I say close, I'm not talking about the recent closing value. I'm talking about the entire time series data. For each and every 5-minute once, I'll be getting a closing price. The moment I change the time frame, automatically I'll get that particular time frame closing data. So the close value is not number. First of all, you need to understand which is a number, which is a series. This is, we call it a series, time series. Series or time series, it has different names, time series. But you will mostly, when it comes to TradingView, we use the terminology called series. So close is a series, open is a series. But if I say close of 1, this is historical reference parameter. I'm referencing 1 bar back, like a time machine. 1 bar back, how the data will look like. So the data will be more or less looks like something like this. If I try to plot, maybe I'll be getting something like NA value. NA means null. NA means what? Null. Null means not even 0. At least 0 has some value. If I try to plot 0, what will happen? I'll see a line at the scale 0. If I try to plot NA, what I will get? Nothing. Empty value only I will get. Nothing will get plotted. So NA means not empty, void. So it has different meanings. Null. Null is the commonly used terminology. Okay, so close of 1, the recent data is nothing but what? The previous bar data. 1 bar data is what I'll be getting over here. So the recently, so this data over here represents what? The recently available data. This is the recently available data. Likewise, if I say close of 5, I am referencing 5 bar back data, or I'm shifting the entire data 5 bars towards the front. So I'll be getting total 5 NAs, and I'll be shifting the data like this. I'll be getting 5 NAs over here. NA, NA. So this NA will be repeated. I'm shifting the entire data towards the right 5 times so that my recent data will always point to 5 bar back data. Not only that, even if I'm calculating an RSI, let's say if I'm saying RS equal to TA dot RSI of close comma 14, I will get RSI value, right? I'll be getting the RSI value. So this RS value is also a series. It's not a number. I'm not going to get only one single number. I'm getting a series over here. So that means what? I might be getting something like 20 and then 25 and then 35 and then 40, 40 and maybe 42 and then again 38 falling down, let's say, then 32, again it's shooting up 50 and then 67, then 70. Okay, so I'm getting a series of data. Data set. Series are nothing but what? Data set. It's complete data set for that particular time frame. Even if shifting this information, I can refer to previous. If I want to refer to previous RSI, I would say what? RS of 1. RS stores the RSI value. So if I say RS of 1, then the entire data will shift to the front. One bar towards the right, it will shift. So that I can refer the historical data set. One bar back, how the RSI will look like. Now, why this is important if you ask me? For comparison purpose, definitely it is useful. For example, let's take the smooth RSI itself. Let's go back to the trading view charts. I'm sure you might be having a lot of questions now. I'll go and open the RSI smoothing, right? So here is the RSI smoothing. In this case, I had given a RSI color like this. Maybe I'll do one thing. I'll copy the code. I'll open a new indicator. I plot the values. Here, I'm having an EMA. Instead of EMA, I'm going to say like hull of moving average, HMA. Right? HMA, hull moving average. HMA means hull moving average. This is going to be HMA length. HMA length. Now, what I'm trying to create here is like ultra smooth RSI is what I'm going to create. If the value of the indicator is in a rising mode. So what is the indicator? This is the main indicator, smooth RSI. So I'm going to give a name like Masterclass, hull of RSI. Masterclass session 01, hull of RSI, right? So here the color coding, I'm going to say what? I'm going to check if the value is increasing. If the hull moving average value is increasing, I want to give a positive value. If the value is declining, then I want to give a negative value. I want to give a different color. So here I just compare only greater than or less than. Right? If it is greater than, then it should be color green. If it is less than, I will want to plot in a color red. Now the HMA color, I'm going to make it like in a different mode. I'm going to call that as an HMA color. Hull of RSI color. Hull RSI color equals. I'm going to write the condition like this. If my smooth RSI value, my current smooth RSI value, if it is greater than my previous smooth RSI, how I can refer previous smooth RSI? Smooth RSI of 1. Remember, the comparison is not happening only for the current bar. For each and every bar, I'm comparing the previous bar. So, smooth RSI is a series. Smooth RSI of 1 is also a series. So, the comparison also going to be a series. Series of colors, maybe. Right? So, a question mark means if this condition is true, listen carefully, if this condition is true, I want to create color green, color dot green. Or maybe we'll put in a different color, maybe purple. Okay, color purple. Else, maybe I want to put in a color yellow. So else is nothing but what? Colon. So this is a true condition. And the colon, after that, it follows the false condition. If it is false, I want to create a color dot yellow. So I'm going to plot the hull of RSI color. And I'm going to make the line width as thick, line width equal to 2. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. so that it looks elegant. So now I'll save the code, I'll add it to the chart. Okay. So what I'll be seeing over here, I'll be seeing a conditional color coding. So the output is what? Output is a series of colors. So colors goes like this. So whenever the color is, let's say here, I'm just comparing if the RS is greater than RS of 1. Okay, the output is what? Either true or false. If it is true, it compares the current color with the previous color. It compares like this, current color and previous color. Current color is 25, previous color is 20. So that means value is rising. So that means it becomes true. Again, it compares the whether the value is greater than or not. 35 is greater than 25. So it's be true. Right? And then what? Here again, the value is bigger. So it's going to be true. Again, true over here. Whereas 38, is it greater than 42? Of course not. So it's going to be false. False over here, and it's going to be false over here. And again, it's going to be true. And then again, it's going to be true. And again, it's going to be true. So this is how it happens in this example. I'm comparing if the RS, if it is greater than RS of 1. So here what is happening? It's series of Boolean, series of bool. Maybe if I say if RS is greater than RS of 1, if it is true, then I want color dot green. Else I want color dot red. Okay, this is the expression here. If I'm going to give what is the outcome here, so if it is true, what will happen? I will get color green. Maybe I'll get green color dot green. So wherever there is a true value is there, the color green will get filled. Wherever there is false, I'll get a color dot red. Again, color dot red for this particular bar. Once again, it's getting true, so it's gonna be like color green for all the rest of the bars. So now what I'm getting here is the outcome, the output is gonna be, it's not just a series, it's gonna be a series of colors. Okay, series of color means this value, what are the value I'm storing? Maybe I can store it in a variable, say like my color or RSI color equals. The RSI color holds the value of what? Series of color red and color green colors. Means for each and every bar, it stores a color, dynamic color. Depends upon the condition. Condition-based color coding. So are you able to understand this? If you are able to understand this, definitely you can build wonders with TradingView Pinescript coding. If yes, please type yes so that I can understand that we are in sync. Sachin says yes. How about others? Sunil, Dinesh, Bhanumati. Yes, Bhanumati says yes. Vasi Reddy says yes. Sunil says yes. Sunil is saying it is bouncing. See, let me tell you, whatever the information that we are dealing with, they are not numbers. First, we have to register that in mind. We are dealing with data set. All these are nothing but data sets. Okay, here I'm using a historical reference operator, close of 1, which means what? It will shift the data to the right. So the entire data is shifting to the right. 1 bar right, it's shifting. See that the shift, it's happening. This information is shifting to next bar. So the previous information is shifting to the current bar. Why it is important? So that I can compare the data set. Current data I can compare with the historical data. So here, if I want to compare RSI data with the previous RSI data, this will be useful. That is why we may have to use the historical operation, mostly for comparison purpose. For comparison purpose, we may have to use this historical parameter. It's very, very important. All right. So can we write -1, -5? Of course not. We cannot reference future values. We cannot do that. Negative value we cannot use at all. Only positive values are supported. Positive values like close of 1 or the RSI of 1, any variable, we can refer this. If this is an RSI value, then I can refer previous RSI value. Definitely, I can refer that. I cannot use -1, -5. That is not supported. Okay, this is only used to refer the historical operator. That's why the operator itself called as historical operator. All right, Mohan Saha is having a question. Yes, Mohan, please go and ask your question. Mohan, you can unmute yourself and you can speak back.
Yeah, sir, I asked you that how we can create an indicator, like we want to proceed buying after close of the candle, means first candle close we will use as an indicator, and after that second candle when closes we will like to proceed. Can we
I'm not getting your question, Mo.
No, I'm just asking in this compare function. Um, can we compare candle by candle, means first candle and second candle, and can we use more than two operators in and operators?
Yeah, you can do that. You can have as many operators you can have. You can have as many conditions you want.
Yeah, in and operator, can we use more than three conditions?
Yes, you can do that. Multiple ands are possible.
Okay, and we have
Yeah,
to
and
just
you can use condition 1 and condition 2 and condition 3 that you can use. So you can have the condition, like let's say you're having condition 1 and condition 2 or condition 3, like this combination also you can use. Or something
Okay.
like you can put a parenthesis and you can say condition 1 and condition 2 or condition 3 and condition 4, like this also you can use. This kind
No,
of multiple conditions also you can use it.
we can use two times and, means condition 1 and condition 2
Any number of
and
conditions you
condition
can use.
3.
Even if you're having 10 conditions also, you can put 10 and or 10 or
Okay,
a combination of and or also you can use.
Okay, thank
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunil is having a question.
So 2 questions. First is, in the first candle, we do not have a previous candle. So how does TradingView process it by default?
It will not plot anything. As I said, if there is NA, right? If there is any NA, it will not try to plot anything at all.
Okay.
If it is 0, right, what will happen? The value will definitely straight away drop to the value of 0. So don't. That's the reason I differentiate between what is 0 and what is NA. NA means if I try to plot anything, it will leave empty spaces over there for that particular candle. It will not plot anything at all.
Okay, so we'll not get a compilation or a execution error.
No, we don't get that. We don't get that.
So second question, what if the RSI is equal? It doesn't, but theoretical question. So RSI 1 is equal to RSI. In that case,
so if I say RS equal to RSI of 1, then what will happen is like your RS value itself changes to this. Your RSI value, the previous RSI value was this. Now the new RSI will go like this, but you cannot directly assign like this, because whenever you want to reassign the value, you have to put a colon equals. Then only it will reassign the value.
no, so I was not on reassignment. My question was that we wrote a code that if it is greater than the previous one, you give me
Let's say
green.
I'll directly show you. So here you're saying like if I say RS equal to RS of 1, right, what will happen? It will throw on compilation error.
No. I was not asking that, sir. What I was asking was that while executing, the code discovers that I have to compare 2 values, but actually the both values are equal. In that case, the Hull RSI line 18 code, should we not say that if it is not equal, if it is equals, then you have a third color as well, or how does that work?
Yeah, you can say that if it is equals, then what you have to do is like you can add one more condition over here. So let's say if it is maybe you want to say like less than, greater than, and equal to something like that.
So, so I think I got the answer. Sir. So thank you.
So maybe one more condition we have to add. So that is called nested condition. I'll come to that later on.
Sure. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Somebody was asking, can I do like this RS equal to, like already I defined RS. Now I want to store the previous value of RSI as my current RSI value. So I will do like this RS of 1. Can I do like this? Yes, you can do that, but there is a way to do that. If I directly do like this, it will throw an error saying like RS value is already defined. The RS is already defined. This is the value I'll get. If I want to redefine, so here what I'm trying to do here is where the RSI value is calculated. RSI value is calculated. Now I want to assign my previous RSI value is my RS value. So my previous, I want to store previous RSI value as RS value. Here I'm redefining over here. So whenever I'm redefining, I have to put colon equals. For the second time, I'm storing any value. I have to redefine the value over here. I have to put a colon equals. This is a very subtle thing. At many places, you might seen that they would have used, some places they use colon, and some places they used only equals, some places they would have used colon equals. So means they are reassigning the value over here. Okay, so now you can see that there are no compiler errors. So this is like reassigning the value. Reassigning the value. So these are very, very subtle things. That is why the Pinescript learning itself, it's going to take a little bit of time to move forward, because all of a sudden I'm going to use colon equals. You'll be wondering why I'm using, some places I'm using equals, some places I'm using colon equals. The beginners might get confused. So that is why I'm explaining all these understandings about Pinescript. Then learning Pinescript will be even more easier. And moreover, modern days, they had given a color. You can go back and select the colors, the shades. So they give the shades. You can go and choose the colors, various shades. Accordingly, it changes its transition. So it's nothing but a combination of red, green, blue color. That transition they are also bringing in over here. All right. Anyways, so this is like restoring the value. Maybe I'll save this code under. So any other questions that you want me to address? I can take more questions. Any questions that you feel like you want to know the very basic level? So Mohan is asking how this indicator will look like. It's nothing but like it'll refer the previous RSI value only. So means what? Let's say somehow here it is not plotting at all. Better I'll it's not self-referencing, it seems. Here it's I'm just getting only null value only here. Remove this. Save it up. Okay, so somehow now we can see that if it is a declining color, I'll be able to see the yellow color. For increasing lines, increasing values, I'll be able to see the purple color, something like that. So kind of a dynamic color coding. Or maybe if I want to plot it in a histogram, I may have to change the value to a different histogram over here. So what I will do is like maybe the smooth RSI value, I'm going to replot. I'm going to say like, you see that the value itself between 0 to 100. Maybe I want to normalize between minus 100 to plus 100. What I will do is, I'll say, I'm going to redefine my smooth RSI value. My smooth RSI is nothing but colon equals smooth RSI multiplied by 2 minus 50. I think this will minus 50 or minus 100. Minus 100, I suppose. minus 100. So if I'm going to do that, the value will shift between 100 and minus 100. Like an oscillator, it will be looking like a more or less like an oscillator. It shifts between 100 and minus 100, right? So maybe now I will try to plot this color coding. Now I'm doing comparison over here. I'll save it up. So here you can see that I'm redefining the value. So my current smooth RSI only, I'm changing the value with a different formula. So here is what I'm reassigning the smooth RSI value. Reassigning the smooth RSI value. So I mean, more or less I'm normalizing between 100 and minus 100, minus 100 to 100. So that value itself, instead of fluctuating between 0 to 100, the same value will fluctuate between 100 and minus 100. That's what we've been using over here. Like an oscillator. So how to bring more colors? Okay, maybe let's say there's something called nested conditions. Nested ternary operator is what we're going to use over here. The nested operator goes like this. For example, the same hull of RSI, generally I prefer using the smoothing period as like 7 and 7. I'll use the 7 and 7 over here. 7 and 7. Let me save this and then I'm going to save it. Let's say I'm going to bring Nifty futures on the daily time frame. Nifty futures, daily chart. Okay, I'm going to do what? I'm going to bring a color coding in a different way. So think about the color coding. What I'm going to do here is the color coding itself, I'm going to plot it in a different way. So if it is increasing and greater than value, so I'm going to say like the color green if the smooth RSI is greater than 0 and at the same time, remember, and at the same time increasing, the value is increasing. Smooth RSI should be increasing. In that case, I want color green. And the color red, probably I want if smooth RSI is maybe less than 0 and decreasing. I want in color red. I want in color blue if the smooth RSI, right? It should be greater than 0, but still it is decreasing. And maybe color yellow. The smooth RSI is less than 0. Remember, all these are comments. I'm just putting in double slash over here. Anything I'm putting double slash, it is treated as a part of a comment. It will not be coming for compilation. Those lines will not be compiled. They are not considered as a part of the code at all. They're just only for understanding purpose, what I am trying to do with the code. So smooth RSI should be less than 0 and the value is increasing. Right? In that case, I want color yellow. Let's see how to code this. This is what we call as a nested condition. So I'm also going to save this as a nested condition over here. Nested. Okay, this is renaming the script. So I can say here is like say Control C. I'll open a new indicator. No, I don't want to save anything. I'll paste the value. Here I'm going to save it like Masterclass session 01. So here we're going to talk about what? Multiple. We're going to use what? Multiple ternary operators. Multiple or nested ternary operators. Kind of a color coding is what we're going to do. Color coding. Okay, so here I'm going to use multiple conditions. The condition goes like this. My smooth RSI should be greater than 0. And smooth RSI should be increasing, right? And my current smooth RSI, I have to, if it is increasing, how I will compare? I have to compare with the previous bar. So smooth RSI greater than smooth RSI of 1. In that case, it's gonna be color dot green, right? Else, I have to check for whether the smooth RSI is maybe greater than 0 but decreasing. In that case, it's color blue. So I'm gonna open one more condition. This is gonna be +1. I mean, if this condition is true, then color green. If false, then I'm putting a colon, and I'm gonna open one more condition over here, right? So one more condition I'm gonna open. Listen carefully how I'm gonna do here. Since multiple conditions are there, if I try to write everything in a single line, it's gonna create an issue. So I'm gonna put an enter. I'm gonna give a tab. As many tabs I want, I can give. And I'm gonna enter the next condition over here. The next condition is what? Next condition is gonna be same thing only. Smooth RSI if it is greater than 0, but the smooth RSI value is declining. If this is true, then I want color blue, color dot blue. Okay. Else, I can write in the same line itself, but I'm just putting it in a different line. See that I'm giving multiple tabs. That means it is a same statement only, same line of code only, but I'm breaking into multiple lines so that the code is readable. Otherwise, if I'm going to keep like this, it looks very annoying. It'll be very difficult to read the entire line. It'll be keep on going like a monkey's tail, right? So which I don't want to do that. So instead, I'm breaking into multiple pieces. So I'm just giving it tabs, as many tabs you can give. And I'll enter. Still the code is not completed yet. Still this line is not completed yet. It's actually it's a one single line only, right? But I'm breaking into multiple lines. Likewise, the smooth RSI, if it is greater than, less than 0, but the value is increasing, that is color yellow. Color yellow. Last condition, it could be only one thing, that if none of the conditions are matching, then the value should be what? Color red only. So color dot red. Okay. So if this condition is matching, then true value will be giving us color green. If it is false, we are opening one more ternary operator. We are operating one more ternary operator. We are putting one more condition and saying like if this condition is, we are building one more condition. If it is false, I'm giving one more condition. I'm saying like if this is true, then color blue. Else, I'm putting one more ternary operator over here, and I'm saying like if this is finally, if these conditions are matching, then color yellow, and the color if finally if none of them is matching, then finally color red. That is what I'm just bringing over here. Means the value is declining and value is less than 0. That's what it means. So this hull of RSI color, I'm gonna bring it over here. Color hull of RSI line width I had made. Now style, I'm gonna make it like a histogram. So style, I'm gonna make it like style equal to plot dot style underscore histogram. So I'm going to plot it in a histogram format. So that it looks very interesting. So there is some error over here. What we missed? You see that there's some space I missed over here. I think there are no spaces. I'll save it once again. Saying end of line without continuation. Maybe it is not allowing me to plot in multiple lines. For timing, I'll put everything in a single line itself, but we can break it up. But plotting in a single line, it looks very annoying, as I said. For time being, I'll keep it up to solve the error. Okay, so now there are no errors. Maybe if I try to break, it is giving some errors. It's creating an error somehow. Anyways, for timing, I'll keep it in a single line itself. So now if I look into the indicator, I'll add to the charts. I'll close this. I'll add it to the charts. I'll add to the chart. You'll be finding something like this, right? So you can see that the values are increasing. So in an increasing value, it will plot green. For a declining value, it will plot in blue. And the further declining value, it will plot in red. And less than 0, but still increasing, it will plot in color yellow. So maybe we can use RSI length as like 10 and HMA length as like, or maybe RSI length, we can make it like 14. And HMA length, we can make, it's not HMA, but EMA length. Maybe like 14 again. We'll be getting some sort of some smooth indicator values that we'll be able to plot over here. Right. So I prefer using something like 36 and all. If you go, even it gets even more smoother. The value gets more and more smooth, like a very smooth moving average that you will get. So I'll make the default values like 14 of RSI and 36 of HMA length. 36 as the not EMA, but HMA length. I'll save it. Okay, now what we'll be getting over here, we'll be getting in some smooth things over here. So means in an increasing, the trend will be higher, and in a declining value, it'll be giving and declining values over here. So it'll be used to identify trend values and changes. So here we are playing with multiple colors. This is what we call as a nested ternary operators. All right. So history operators and then type of data. I'm sure there is one question from Sunil. Yes, Sunil, please go and ask your question. Sunil, you can unmute yourself and you can speak back.
Sorry, sir, I was on mute. So you mentioned that you use 36 for smoothing. A basic question: when we try to do intraday on a 15-minute time frame, does it hold true for that as well, or do you prefer
So for
something
Allah
else?
moving average, we can use 36 as an smoothing period for 15-minute time frame, something like that. Okay. So different time frame, we may have to use different smoothing periods.
Right? I was just wondering if there is one that you can rely on comfortably and not tinker too much. That number could be 36.
See, it is not like solid numbers like that. Maybe it depends upon that strategy and depends upon how much smoothing that we want, right? So if I don't want smoothing, should I have to reduce the smoothing period or what? See, the more the smoothing period we're going to introduce, it's going to create delay in identifying the trend. Number
Understood.
one, right?
Understood.
But what it will do is like it will avoid a lot of unwanted whipsaws at various places.
Fair enough.
What number is comfortable, that depends upon time frame, that depends upon strategy also. Every strategy it differs, every symbol it differs. For example, something like power grid and all, it will not move much. It will be very less volatile. So very slow price action. In a very slow price action kind of situation, maybe you can use a smoothing period so that a lot of whipsaws will get avoided. Whereas something like Bank Nifty, it is very violent. So you may need to identify the turns very faster. Otherwise, price will be shooting up very faster. And we can afford to have a more delay over there. Yeah, so it depends upon symbols also, depends upon time frame also, depends upon how much volatility is there in the market. A lot many parameters are involved.
Understood, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so here are the data types. A lot of data types are there. We can, TradingView is classifying into fundamental data types and special data types. Maybe in the afternoon session, we will briefly discuss this. Maybe we'll start. If I want to start now, I don't think it will look good. Maybe we stop the session here. In the afternoon session, we'll discuss about the different data types and then special type of data. What does it mean like special type of data? What is the importance of those things like plot, H-line, line, label, box? They are data types. But they are special data types. In fact, the label and box they had introduced in the version 5. Earlier in version 4 and 3 and all, the box table array is not at all there. But now they had added these special data types in the newer version. Maybe in the afternoon, we'll discuss in a very brief manner the different types of data and what does a tuple means, what does a void means. We'll try to continue the session in the afternoon session. Afternoon session will be starting around 2 o'clock. So 2 to 5, we'll be having a complete session where we will be extending the very basics of maybe more interesting concepts at the very basic level. We'll be learning about TradingView in today's session. All right. Let me know if you have any question. Any question which is anything related to that, you can ask me. Anything related to TradingView. More or less, we'll try to. I'll try to address it. So short key for copying text and directly applying to the next line. So if I want to copy a line, I'll say Control C, Control V is what generally we're using. Control C for copy. Control key plus C. Whatever the selected line will get copied. And you want to paste it, then Control V. Paste. Okay, these are the shortcut keys. Sunil is asking, during the consolidation period, can we change the color of price bars? There are only two color, either green or red, but consolidation, can I add any of the third color? Yes, of course you can add it. For example, I'll show you here how to do that. Maybe let's say here the smooth RSI is here. If this smooth RSI, if I want to apply it on top of the bars, now what I have to do here is I'm not going to plot. Let's say I'm not going to plot the smooth RSI. Let's say better first I'll open a new indicator. I'll paste the code. Okay. So here what I'm going to do is like I'm going to give a title saying like color coding of bars. I'm going to say like color coding of candle bars based on hull of RSI. Hull of RSI. Finally, I calculated hull of smooth RSI. I calculated and hull RSI color I had calculated, but I'm going to apply it on top of the bar color. Okay. So I'm not going to use the plot over here. I'm going to use the plot of. I'm going to say like bar color. There's a function called bar color. Now, using this bar color, I can give the dynamic color. I'm going to say like hull RSI color. Okay. So based on the hull RSI, whether it is increasing or decreasing, accordingly, the bar colors will get plotted. A very simple manner. Right. So it comes with the color, offset, and then editable, title, display, and all those things. So only a bar color is what dynamic bar color is what I'm going to give. And it is going to be an overlaying indicator. So I'm going to say like overlay equal to true because I'm going to plot on top of the candles. Overlay equal to true. And I save the code. Now what I'll be getting here is I'll be getting you can see that I'll be. Did I add it to the charts? Let me add to the charts. So here you can see that the color coding of the candles are done over here. So it's getting like a blue color and there's going to be a red color candles. And again, yellow color candles. Of course, the body of the candle, you cannot control it because body of the control, nobody can control as of now. If you want to control the body of the candle, you can right click, you can only change from there's a way to do that. If you want to change the body of the candle, if you can go to the settings from here, you can go and say whether you want a body or borders, wick. So wick is essential. We can't do anything. Wicks are, these are standard things. We can't control the wicks. Wicks are always going to be red and green, or maybe you can change the colors. Borders also we cannot change. Maybe you can remove it if you don't want. Body also you can, if you don't want, you can remove it, right? But it's good to keep it up. So at least borders I can remove. Wicks, we can't do anything because wicks can't be made dynamic. I think I searched it last time. I'm not able to find it out. So wicks are more or less green and red is going to remain. But rest all the borders I removed it. So now the candle looks like better. If I'm gonna have the border also, right, what will happen? Then border will be like outer cover of the candle. That will be there. It brings those colors. The red and green colors will be surrounded over here. It looks a bit annoying. See that it's a blue color candle, but surrounded with the red color borders. So that is a bit annoying. So maybe to enhance the visual, we can remove the borders. That is only thing that is recommended. Okay, that way it looks better. The candle itself looks better. Maybe the wicks, yes, we can. It's more or less. It's going to be in color red and green color. That's anyways, it's fine. The candle looks better now in this case. So color coding based on candles also we can do. How we have to do it? We have to use based on the bar color function. So bar color is the function we use to bring that dynamic colors on top of the candles. At the same time, I also remove the borders so that it looks visually appealing. All right. Wick color can also be changed. I'm not sure. Last time I tried to search it for some time, but I'm not able to figure it out. So I just missed it out. So let me know if wick color can be changed. So let me check. Let me Google it out. Like Pinescript wick color, how to change it. Pinescript color. Somebody asked in Stack Overflow. So there is a plot candle, maybe in a plot candle, if I am plotting in a candle format, yes, in that case, it is possible. Wick color, there is a provision for saving the wick color. But in bar color, it is not possible. He also asked a question only. There's a function called plot candle. It's not pretty, but it works. That's what they're saying. Okay, probably they had given an example also. So with the plot candle, there's a function called plot candle. Maybe using that plot candle, we can figure it out. So in version 4 itself, it's already available. Okay, it's there. The plot candle is what we can do that. Anyways, maybe we'll try to explore those things in the second half. What the plot candle is all about and how to set those wicks. I think there's a parameter for wicks. Yeah, they have a special parameter for wick color. So there we can assign those dynamic wick colors. Then maybe I'll try to do one thing here itself. I'll try to do. Instead of bar color, I'll assign with a plot candle. I'm gonna say the open and then high and then low and then close. Everything is more or less same only. Close, comma. Title, I'm gonna skip it. Color is gonna be color equal to hull RSI color, and wick color is also wick color equals that also hull of RSI color, hull RSI color. Let's see if this works. If this is gonna work, then nothing like that. I'm not able to see any differentiation in the color coding. Usually it should do. Maybe in this case, probably what I have to do is like I have to completely remove all those candles. I think body and wick, because I'm plotting my own color custom candles. So I have to remove all these body, color, and wick. So that what are the candle that I want to plot is getting plotted over here, right? So that way it works, but it doesn't. Still, it doesn't looking good. It's plotting properly, but it's not looking good. Because if I compress, it is happening something like this. Somebody's okay with that, then it's well and good. But the moment I add the right click, I'll go to the settings, and then if I add those bodies and wicks or something like that, it is getting superimposed. Or maybe what you can do is like you can add that code as an underlying indicator. You change it to false so that it plots down below that false. Now, if you try to add it, it will try to plot down below that as a separate indicator. Maybe I'll try to add it now, add to the chart. it plots at the down below that. So that way it is possible, right? So if you want to superimpose on top of the candle itself, then you may have to disable all the colors, border, bar color and wick color, everything, so that you will get candles at the top. Anyways, I'll make it like by default as true as well. So means you have to disable the bar colors and wick color, border color. These are nothing but some instruction notes. Border color from the chart settings. And then only you'll be able to see those visualization properly. I'll say like note. I'll say it out. Sunil is asking condition if the trend is down equal to lower low of the previous bar and LH of the previous bar, lower high of the previous bar, close below the high of the previous bar. So maybe the lowest low and higher low or highest function, lowest function, and all those things we will try to discuss in the second half, because second half we're going to explore a lot of different varieties of function. So we'll try to explore more different functions in the second half. All right. Sachin is asking, will we cover all functions in version 5? Of course, the number of functions are very elaborate. It is very difficult to cover all those functions. So maybe we'll try to cover as much as possible, right? So every session we'll try to explore new functions. That I can guarantee you that. But it's very difficult to say like all the functions will I be able to cover? I don't think so, because we have very limited time. But important functions and most useful functions definitely we want to cover in the session. That I can guarantee you on that. All right, so let me pause the session here. We'll come back in the second half at 2 o'clock. Session starts, and we'll explore new functions, new informations, and the very basic, lot of very basic things still yet to discover, yet to explore. So we'll continue in the second half. Thank you.